Hi everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome to my February bullet journal spread video. This past month has been something, let me tell you. My motivation and productivity has been absolutely all over the place. I've had some good days, I've had some bad days, and the use of my bullet journal it's been okay. It's not been as fruitful as I hoped it would be. I think I'm using it to sort of overschedule myself a little bit too much, but I have been making good progress doing everything that I need to do and setting up my appointments and my day-to-day to-dos. Not so good on the actual trackers I had set up, but am I going to change any of that for February? Absolutely not. I'm going to keep it the same and hope that I can just sort of ease myself into it as the year goes on. For the month of February, my design theme is vintage floral. I have no idea why I decided to choose this as my theme. I guess I was just looking for inspiration on Pinterest, and the sort of hand-drawn black and white flowers sort of caught my attention. Also helps that it's a relatively easy and simple design spread to do that's not going to take me too long or cause me too much hassle. Of course, with any vintage theme that I happen to have, we need to do some form of scrapbooking just to make it pop a little bit more. This is the only page we're going to actually see any of the scrapbooking because I figure I've got the most space on the first page with the months and not as many spaces I have available for any of the weeks. So we've just got this nice little page divider, vintage floral, again paper scrapbook design, just going in the middle there just to make that sort of pop a little bit more. Here we've got the February page. I was initially going to use calligraphy in order to do February, then I decided I wanted something a little bit more bold, a little bit more simple, something that I'm not going to angst over trying to make it look absolutely perfect. And I think the style of font that I've got sort of really does fit well with the whole sort of minimalist vintage aesthetic that I sort of wanted to have going on. I debated for quite some time whether I wanted to keep all of these sketches that I had done as hand-drawn pictures or whether or not I wanted to break out the sort of vintage floral stickers that I have and use those instead. It took a lot of deliberation. It took a lot of me dumping stickers on the page to try and see how it would look with the rest of the hand-drawn aspects before I went ahead and decided to just stick with the hand-drawn because the sketches that I'd done actually didn't look too bad from my perspective, of course. And then I had this whole issue of, well, am I going to colour in any of these flowers? I decided against that as well in the end, again to keep it as simple and easy as possible, and so to also just have the pop of blue from all of the washi tape and stuck on elements rather than from the flowers themselves. You don't see me flicking back roughly about here trying to figure out if I'm doing February in the exact same place I did January. And you are also not witnessing me make a very large mistake while I'm drawing out the first of the week's calendar pages for February. No mistakes that I physically can't fix because I have nothing to, there it is, rub anything out with at all whatsoever. But you know, mistakes happen in bullet journaling. I used to be really anal about it, and if I made a mistake I'd hate it. It would be not pretty anymore, it would not be aesthetic anymore. I've sort of grown out of that now to the point where most of the time I will just let mistakes be. If I am able to cover it up, you'll see me cover it up with some strategically placed washi tape, which you can still see the pen through if you look closely enough a little bit later in the video. But mistakes happen, there's nothing wrong with mistakes, and I think one of the reasons I stopped using my bullet journal so much was trying to make sure it's looked and stayed as pretty as possible, and that sort of just took the fun out of it. I don't actually draw them in this video, but just like January, I do have weekly trackers where I wanted to sort of keep track of 3 different things throughout the week. I haven't filled them in for January. I don't think I've actually sat down and tried to decide what I wanted to use those 3 spaces of trackers for. I think it might have been water, sleep and walking or something along the lines of that. I haven't done it in January. It is prepared and written and drawn in for February. It just remains to be seen whether or not I will actually get around to using the specific tracker. It's one of those things where I think it's a good idea to keep track of all of these things, but I'm notoriously bad at keeping track of those things. But again, if it's there, I might start using it, which is what I want to do in the first place. So it's there if I do, it's there whether I don't. Hopefully we'll get used to it. It's the same with the journal page, the journal duck page that I just did as well. Sort of used it once to write a couple of sentences so far in January, and no matter how many times I feel like I want to get my feelings or stresses out on the page, because my bullet journal is not open in front of me all the time because of the state of my desk, I don't find myself picking it up to purposely write in that journal dump page. But again, when I feel the need to, it is there for me to utilise. And I suppose it's just putting everything in a place where I can utilise it if I need to, and can utilise it and should utilise it because I know it is going to help me out and sort of get stuff off my mind to clear it in order for me to get the writing done that I want to do. I'm talking too much to keep up with what is going on in this video, but there was me writing down the days of the week. I'm still not writing down the physical dates 1, 2, 3, 4, despite the fact that I do keep getting confused about where everything is in January. Clearly I have not learnt my lesson. I might go back and fill in those physical dates, and I say that I might do that, but I probably won't. And now we're just going through and adding washi tape to all of the rest of the pages. You can see me right there covering up that mistake I did. Again, you probably can't see it in the recording, but if you look close enough you can still see it through the paper. But again, we're not going to let it bother me, and it shouldn't bother you either. If it bothers you, I don't know why. And here is the full finished spread for February. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I love the colours, I love the vintage feel of everything, and I hope the next one is just as easy to do. You see me flip the page here because I forgot that the journal dump is actually the last page. Whoops. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.